Hey fam, Elgin Walker here, eXp Realty, and let's talk a little bit about the state of the real estate market and the state of the real estate industry right now. So a couple of things is, listen, while we're dealing with quote unquote recession and other factors, real estate has still pretty much been steadfast, but that is going to change. And what do I mean by that is going to change? I'm not expecting a quote unquote market crash, but there's a little common sense here. And that is, if you listen to the Federal Reserve, one of the Federal Reserve's goals right now is to slow everything down. And the last big shoe to drop is real estate. What do I mean by that? I mean the stock market has slowed. The crypto market has slowed. They're doing things that they feel needs to be done to have recession stop. One of the things that is felt is that rents and real estate in some areas, at least areas that I service, is too high. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that or whatever the case may be, but you have to understand what's going on. So what does that mean for us in the real estate market? What it means is this. First of all, for those of us that are looking to sell homes, this is a market, in my opinion, that you really need to sell as far as putting a home up for sale. What I mean need to sell is there should be a reason why you want to sell other than I want to just see if I can get my price. If you are in a let me see if I can just get my price mode, this may not be the best market for you to do that. Right now, what we're seeing is we're seeing interest rates as we speak right now much higher than they were at the beginning of the year. And for a lot of people, the interest rates are more than doubled what they were earlier in the year when when they are qualified for it, at their price ranges and all that, and just refinancing, whatever the case may be, the rates are much higher. That being said, unless your income has increased quite a bit this year, odds are you do not have as much purchasing power, meaning they won't qualify you for as much money, unless of course you're putting a lot more money down. So I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing, but that's where the market is right now. When you put your home on the market, I mean, we were on the market earlier in the year. You look at it, you put your house on the market, there's a strong possibility you get overbids, a strong possibility that people were going to bid more for your house than what you were asking for. And what I was telling my sellers back then, more importantly, in my opinion, than just the pricing, the sellers were dictating all of the terms. What do I mean by terms? Property is being sold in as-is condition. There weren't being any to very little repairs done. No termite inspections or termite repairs. In a lot of cases, no appraisal contingencies. Sellers were renting back property at no cost for longer periods of time than there used to be. Lots of terms that favored the seller. Well, guess what? We're in a situation now where the pricing, quite honestly, has not deteriorated a lot. It's gone down a little bit depending upon location, and some of the properties was because they were probably a little bit too high to begin with, but the prices haven't gone down as much. But guess what is happening? What is happening is that the property is staying on the market longer. When the property stays on the market longer, sellers get a little bit more anxious. Some people's situations require them that they need to sell sooner. What you are seeing, at least that I am seeing more opportunities for buyers right now to perhaps maybe get their closing costs paid. Maybe for savvy sellers and their realtors, that they are helping buyers buy down their interest rates so they can qualify, which are things that did not happen previously. Right? And it just previously meaning just a few months ago. So just think about this. If you were a buyer a few months ago, it's a very strong possibility that if a property was, say, listed at $500,000, just to get that property, you might have to bid somewhere around $550,000, $575,000 to get it. You have to remove your appraisal contingency, so whether the property appraised or not, yes, you had a lower interest rate, but you also had to bid up on the property. So guess what? So now your interest rate's a little bit higher. That same property at $500,000, though, let's suppose that you could get it at $500,000. Let's suppose you could get your closing costs paid up to, say, 3%. You do the math. 3% of $500,000. It doesn't come out of your pocket now. And you get terms that are a little bit more fair. Maybe the appraisal contingency is in place. You actually get to do a physical inspection. And if there are items of concern, you have an opportunity to negotiate that with the seller now. Things that you did not have an opportunity for before. So don't let the interest rate part of it scare you. The only thing from a buyer standpoint that you need to look at is what is your monthly obligation. can you afford it per month? If you can afford it every month and you like the home, that's what the concern is. Because I'm going to tell you something. You're never going to be able to go to the grocery store and say, my house has got, $100,000 in equity. Give me that loaf of bread. Not without coming up with some dinero. You're not going to be able to do that. Same thing if your property value is going down. All of it is monopoly money until you need to use it. So what your goal should be is to get in, own, and make sure that you can afford it monthly. Sellers, you negotiate the best price you can. Your price is not going to be crazy, meaning your odds are we've been gaining so much appreciation every year, pretty much for the last 10 years, that if you do not get quote unquote what you feel is top dollar, you are getting top dollar in this market. And you just have to make the decisions on why you're moving. And I would tell you as a seller, if you know that realistically between now and the next year and a half, you need to sell for some reason, strongly look at this market right now. Because there is a possibility that at best, that your property value may be flat over the next year or so. That's just real-time talk, flat. And of course the alternative to flat is lower, and we don't want that. All right, if you guys have questions, there's a lot going on in the real estate market, a lot going on, period. We'd love to speak with you. The Ultimate Palawa Whopper team, we've got an awful lot of experience, a lot of service. Subscribe to the channel. And we look forward to assisting you in the future. God bless, and remember, no matter what you're going through in life, it's just a temporary condition. Things change, and no matter what, it truly is a great life. God bless.